Well, kia ora koutou. My name is Joseph and I was fortunate enough to be last year's winner for Falling Walls Lab Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Today, the lives of more than 1,000 people will be cut short because of an asthma attack. And the very sad thing is most of these deaths are actually preventable due to a simple delay in obtaining inhaled medications during the final attack.
My pitch focused on the development of a novel wearable bronchodilator device that targets the nervous system to open the airways during an asthma attack. I conducted this work at the University of Otago with Associate Professor Joseph Balfe, and this was during my Masters in Neuroscience. I'm now a Clinical Trials Associate at Pacific Edge Cancer Diagnostics and shortly heading off to the University of Oxford to continue my work on neuromodulation, but for the treatment of psychiatric conditions. The reason why I wanted to present at Falling Walls Lab was because I knew that I was working on something that had a lot of potential to make a difference. Despite the sensitivity of the intellectual property I was working with, I really took every opportunity that I could to share this work with the world. The Falling Walls Lab provided the perfect mechanism for me to do so. So my advice for this year's applicants would be to really make sure that you craft your pitch precisely, and that means making every single word count, because at the end of the day 3 minutes is not a long time at all to get your message across. In that respect, you should also really capitalize on the problem solution format, where you really precisely define the problem that you're trying to address and then how exactly you're going to address that problem with your solution. In this way, you'll definitely be able to get the message across in such a short time window. If you have the time, practice and practice and practice in front of your friends and your family. When you build more confidence in what you're saying, you'll actually be able to have a bit more fun with the way you deliver it on the day, and in that way you'll inject a bit more confidence into your presentation and ultimately it'll have more impact. If I could give my pitch again, then I would probably change a couple of things. I would try and present with a little bit more confidence. I'll probably change a couple of words here and there. I'll try and implement pauses a little bit more to generate some more impact on some of the statements that I was giving. So this was feedback that I actually got after my pitch in New Zealand, and you can probably see that I tried to implement this if you compare my pitch between New Zealand and in Germany. So as the winner, I was invited to represent New Zealand at the global finale in Berlin, Germany. And this was actually during the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. It's safe to say that this was definitely one of the best experiences I've ever had, not just in my academic career, but in my life in general. You know, I got to spend a whole week with 100 other global finalists from across the world, and it was so much fun. Everybody was so kind and lovely. We got to have cocktails at the Italian embassy, we got to explore Berlin together, and we all watched and supported each other during the whole pitching competition.
The Wall of Asthma, Joseph Balfe, Falling Walls Lab, Aotearoa, New Zealand.
At the global finale, I think all 100 pitches were groundbreaking in some way or another, and for example, one I can remember is from a guy named Dante from Falling Walls Lab, Cambridge, and he was presenting this really fascinating idea of using a technique called marine cloud brightening to slow the melting of the Arctic, and this is of course in combat of climate change. So honestly, it was really inspiring to see all sorts of different pitches like this, where it was simply just a group of people trying to address some of humanity's most pressing challenges, and there's honestly nothing more inspiring than that. But to close off, if you are working on something that you believe has a lot of potential to make a difference, then you should go ahead and draft up an application, because it's actually one of the simplest application processes I've done. It's very short and simple, and you've really got nothing to lose. And for all you know, you could end up being the next winner and heading off to Berlin later this year. So with that, thank you very much to the Falling Walls, thank you to the Royal Society, and best of luck to everybody.